Hey folks, Nas here. I appreciate everybody joining me today. We are going to be trying out a new Viking survival game called Aska. Now it is new to me. Apparently it has already been out about a year. It came out in June of 2024. It's got mostly positive reviews on it currently. Aska is developed by Sand Sailor Studios and the publisher is Thunderful Publishing. Now this is, if any of you have been following me for quite some time, you know that I did a series on Medieval Dynasty for several years. This game is very much like Medieval Dynasty with a bit of maybe a Valheim twist to it. I put in so far, I probably got a little over 20 hours in the game right now, just playing it, seeing how it feels, checking out the combat, checking out the combat and the building. The game feels and flows pretty good. I do like, the building in it is very similar to Medieval Dynasty as to where the building structures are set. There's no real, you can't really customize the buildings as you can in Valheim. Valheim allows a lot of customization with the buildings. The building is what the building is. It has abilities to upgrade buildings, which is nice, straight from the building menu. But you've got single player. You've got multiplayer. Multiplayer is a co-op, so one person hosts the game, and then up to 3 other people can join that host. And then, of course, you've got character selection. Right now, it is just 2 characters, Aska, which is the name of the game, and then Ragnar, which is the male character. You can customize some of the features. You've got colors for the hair, color for the eyes. You can see I've gone with a little bit of a purple theme as to be expected. You can change the facial features. There are things that are locked. So you can see that this one is locked. You've got to complete Jefgen Deeds Tier 3 to unlock it. So there are some customizable features that do need to be unlocked within the game, which is kind of nice. Get back to my particular setup here. Let's see, close that, and then you got the body style and stuff. You can change your tattoos as well. Go back to the little stripe there. I don't like a whole lot of tattoo coverage. And then, of course, you can change the color of the tattoos to whatever you like. And then, of course, your skin color. You can be Hulk if you'd like. So there are a few customizations, not a ton, which is fine to me because I don't typically care too much for all the customization on the characters, but I know that there are a lot of people that do. And then, of course, there are different stats. You can see the stats here on the right-hand side. Ragnar is a former thrall who entered his freedom through hard work. His great physical strength, together with an unbreakable will... Together with an unbreakable will, fueled by his faith in a primal bear god, make him an invaluable ally and friend to Aska. Where Aska leads through sharpness of wit, Ragnar is there to break wood, stone, foe with raw ferocity. So, I guess Ragnar is the sidekick, according to that. He's the meat shield, I guess. But anyway, you can see that their stats: vitality, stamina, hunger, thirst, cold resistance, strength, dexterity, intelligence, and perception. If we go over to, let's see, no, I don't want to save any of those changes. If we go over to Aska, you can see that her stats changed when we switched screens here. Let's switch back and forth. You can see the change on the right. So her vitality is not necessarily as high as Ragnar's. Her stamina is higher than Ragnar's because she's obviously smaller and lighter. Of course, hunger changes, thirst changes, everything changes. It looks like she's more susceptible to cold resistance. He is not as susceptible. So you can choose the character based on whether male or female, or you can choose the character based on the stats if you'd like. But anyway, the description in Steam is lay claim to the unspoiled lands and pave the way for a fierce Viking tribe. Craft the ultimate settlement solo or together with up to 3 friends. Trust in the gods and the power of the Eye of Odin and summon intelligent NPC villagers to provide camaraderie and relief from the toils of survival. Alrighty, let's go ahead. We're going to start a single player game. We're going to start a new game. Of course, you can do load game if you like. You can see that I have been doing a few sessions, testing out the game and everything. I've even tested out the multiplayer, which plays really nice. I have been playing with a couple of friends, but the multiplayer aspect does play nice. Just remember that one person is hosting, and then up to three other people can join that host. I not 100% sure on the dedicated servers. If somebody that is watching that has been playing the game longer than I have or does have a dedicated server on this, please let me know in the description on how well that works and if you need to host it off site, meaning that the developers are not hosting dedicated servers. So leave those comments in below, that way everybody can see. But we're going to go back, we're going to start a new game. Now you can customize your game or you can choose the normal settings. I've been playing under the normal settings just because I'm getting used to the game. But if we go under customize, which is unbalanced, what do we get to? We can generate seeds. So everybody gets a different seed, but you can share the seed. So like we could copy this seed. I could share it in the description of the video and you guys could play on the same seed. Oh, here we go. World and difficulty here at the top. You can change the terrain aspect, the season starts, the year length difficulty, monster density, monster population, the wolfar, which is the wolf dens, herbivores and bears. Yes, there's bears in the game. The herbivores, these are just your animals typically that you're going to be hunting for the most part to get meat and everything. But there's the game settings and everything that you can customize. I am not customizing the game settings currently, maybe in a different playthrough, but we're going to go with normal. And you can name the game. So we go NAS Viking Season 1. There we go. And then, of course, this is the seed here. I can copy that. Matter of fact, I will. I'll copy that and I'll put it in the description below. That way, if somebody wants to follow along on this seed, they can. Each seed seems to be randomly generated. And of course, I'm going to play on the Ragnar character, and then we're going to click start. And we land here. Well, apparently, our ship has been busted up. We've got a few little items that we can pick up here. The Jotun blood, we are going to need these to summon villagers. Of course, if we turn around, there's apparently that is the big guy that busted up our ship. And then he's going to walk off. So he's not a big threat right now. You can see here that we have fish jumping around in the water here. So this is going to be a fishing hole. You do have fishing in the game. It's actually pretty good. It's fairly easy. Then to go over some of the things on screen. So if you look in the bottom left corner, you got your hunger, your water, and how cold you are. Just above that, you have a small legend. Not sure if you can see it real well because of the sand, but Z is a search area. So if you hit Z, you do a search. And you can see that it highlights some things around you. You can see some of those little items are glowing in gold, and then they disappear after a short period of time. But it highlights things that you can interact with currently. I is your inventory. As you can see, we've got small items, medium items, and you can carry one large item at a time. We've got our equipment here once we start equipping items. And then, of course, you've got your stats and your proficiencies, what you're good at. Everything levels up by doing. So your building levels up, your crafting levels up, your combat levels up, all by doing. Let's see. Back around here. B is your build mode. So you hit B, you come up with a window that has materials, tools, bushcraft, terraforming, and then over here on the right-hand side, you have weapons. These are the things you have access to when you first get into the game, but you have to gather the materials for them. Now, there was just a little tune that played. I'll go over that real quick. Where's it at? There are these little wisps that do pop up. And it's a wisdom wisp, and it will give you a hint on what you need to be doing next, basically. So you'll hear them or see them throughout the game, and they will help you a little bit if you never played Aska before. But they're kind of neat. They can also be kind of annoying, especially if they're telling you the same thing that you can't quite do yet, or you don't have the materials yet. Next, on the left-hand side, we've got last builds. So if you build an item, and you're going to build multiple, let's say a fence, for instance. Once you go in and you place the fence, so defenses, you can see you're going to be starting with the flimsy fence first. Now, granted, this is grayed out. I can't do anything with it because I don't have access to it yet. But if you're building a fence with B, you place the fence, you have to place each one. It doesn't hold the item for you, and you can build multiple in a row without changing anything. You do have to do that. So B, you choose the fence. We need the woodcutter's pit to even do any of that. Escape to get out of it. But whatever your last item was, you can hit L and it'll bring it up, and you can place another fence, and then L, place another fence, L, place another fence. Next is the map. M is almost always map in most all games. And then you have H for tutorial. You can hit H and it brings up this little tutorial guide to kind of give you a brief summary of what different things do, or different things can be done in the game and how to do them. You do have the little follow arrows here, so you can go back and forth. In this screen also is the journal, blueprints that you know, items that you've interacted with, so on and so forth. God's favors. Now, God's favors, so far from what I have gathered, you can actually do these little things, and then you get rewards for unlocking them. And this is the unlocks for the customizations that we were talking about shortly ago. We're going to go back. But it doesn't appear that you get any rewards for completing the first tier, but you have to complete the first tier before you start the second tier on any given item. Let's go back. And of course, there's combat, survival, building, crafting, population, food production, and knowledge. Then if we look on the right hand top corner of the screen, you can see that it tells us we are in spring. It gives us the time in game. And then of course the temperature, which appears to be in Celsius. I have not noticed a way to change the temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit. For those that want to change it, like myself, who are in the States, the number of villagers and the number of days survived, along with your mini map with directional arrows on it. So north, south, east, and west. You can see if I spin around, it's me that's spinning instead of the map. And then it tells you a little icon at the very bottom of the mini map as to what's going on with the weather. Like right now it's sunny, so it's showing me a big sun. If it was super windy, it would show me a wind symbol. If it was raining, it would show me, cloudy, rainy skies, so on and so forth. Now, if we look at the bottom right of the screen, you can see it gives you some basic movement legends. So jump is spacebar, and then of course you can roll. What is it? So if we're moving forward, yeah, see, we can roll there. We even got a little favor for it. So was that left shift to the roll? Now, rolling does use stamina. You can see the little white bar at the bottom of the screen there. It's going down each time I roll. So it does use stamina. Left control to crouch. So if you want to try and sneak up on something to hunt it, you can. There is a light attack, which is left click. Right click is a heavy attack. Now it also says that you can block, but I don't see the block because it's also left click to block. And then V for emote. Oh, there we go. V for emote. You can wave, sit, chat, and cheer. Okay, it's the first time I've used the E mode. Now, you can go into your inventory. Now, you see that you do have a water pouch with a little bit of water in it, and you have 10 taskbar items that you can use down at the bottom of the screen. When you're in the inventory is when you can move things around in the taskbar. I typically like to keep my water and food in the backside over here, and then keep my usable tools and weapons in the first ones. Alrighty, now that we've wasted quite a bit of the day, we need to start collecting stuff. Particularly food. Now, we can collect mussels. You hold E to collect mussels. You typically get 3 mussels per rock, and they're going to be on little rocks like this. And then, of course, you can use Z to scan. We need stones because we got to start making some tools. I'm actually going to grab these mussels here as well. Make sure to scan so you don't miss anything. We can collect the reeds. The reeds are going to turn into fiber later, which we can then turn into rope. Rope is needed for almost everything in the game. So fibers are going to be a huge material that you're going to be needing constantly. Now, there is a little guy right there. You can see he's already spotted me. He is a wisp. He is red. So animals, creatures that are aggressive will show up red. Others will show up white. I don't need that yet. Let's go ahead and eat these mussels that I got in my pocket. You can eat them one right after the other. You can see that my food bar is now full. It's going to be dark soon. I haven't explored anything. Let me go through. Let me gather a lot of these items. See, there's another little wisp that popped up because I should be doing something, or should have been doing something. Gathering skill is level 6 now. What I like to do is try and go through and fill your inventory with reeds right away. Gathering stones, you have stones that go into a different inventory slot. And I'll show you that in just a second. Let me grab all these reeds here. Alright, it is getting dark, and it's going to be really dark. Now, if I go into my inventory real quick, you can see I've got almost everything filled up here in reeds. When you get in here, you can see at the bottom of the tooltip for thatch. The item that we were collecting was from reeds, and it produces thatch. Now, thatch, you can hold left shift and left click to harvest. So we're going to hold left shift and left click, and we're going to harvest it. And you can see that it turned into fibers up here at the top. And we're going to go through and do that to all of them. I would like to collect one more for sure. There we go. One more. Let's go back to my inventory. There we go. So now I have 20 fibers. Now, if I hit B and I go to the materials tab right here, the one with the little rope on it, we can actually go and we can either make rope for 2 fibers, or we can make 5 rope for 10 fibers. Neither one is a cost-saving thing, so it's just how many you're making at one time. Now, I like to make the 5 ropes. I'm going to make 10. So I'll have 10 rope on me. Then I have stone in my inventory. We can go to B again, and we can craft the stone blade, because you're going to need stone blades to make pretty much any of these weapons or tools here that require stone. So we're going to do stone blade. We have enough to make 5 currently. Then we're going to go in. You want to make you a stone axe. Oop, we got to get stick. That's right. Wasted too much time. We got to get sticks. Now, sticks are going to be a similar looking item. You can see that I'm hitting Z to highlight everything. And we can go in here. We can gather the dwarf spruce. So we're going to gather a couple of these dwarf spruce because we need a few sticks. Okay, I've gathered some more sticks. We're going to go into B. We're going to go into tools. So you want to craft one of each of these items, including the fishing pole. Don't go beyond the fishing pole because then it's bait. But we're going to start with the stone axe, because the stone axe is your most versatile item, especially right now because you can use it as a weapon. You can actually see that the axe does 3 to 5 damage. Then we're going to get the stone knife. You can see the stone knife does 4 to 6 damage. Knife is actually better. Then we'll do the pickaxe. What do we need? We need some more stone. For the hoe, we do have enough to make the wooden hammer, so we're going to go ahead and make that. Now you can make a simple torch if you like, but you got to get resin first. Resin comes from trees. And then the fishing rod. There we go. Now we're going to escape out of that. We didn't have enough stone to make everything. I'm going to drop everything at the bottom just so it's easy for me to see my tools. Organize my little taskbar down here. Now we needed, what were we missing? We were missing the hoe. This. What do we need? Stone. So we got to make another stone blade. Do we have enough to make one stone blade? We do. So we're going to go ahead and craft that. Go back over here to the wooden hoe. Craft that. Alright, so now we have all our tools here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, 6, because we didn't make the simple torch. What do we need for the simple torch? The resin. Okay, so now that we have the axe, we can actually go and chop down a small tree. Actually, I'm going to grab this stick. So you can only, the trees that you're able to cut down, it's going to tell you when you look at it, because it's not going to have anything in red. We're going to go ahead and chop this tree down. Now some of the bigger trees, like this one here, matter of fact, let's run over here, is a young fir. And then what do we got here? That's also a young fir. This one here is a fir. You can see right here, it tells me harvest needs better equipment. So we can't harvest this yet until we make the next better tool. So in the meantime, we can actually chop down the young firs. So you can hold R. It'll automatically pull out your axe if you don't have it equipped already. And you just hold R, it'll chop it down. The base chops up into firewood. And then you find the tree that fell. Again, you hold R and it's going to chop it up into more materials. Now, you can see these little orange glowing pieces right here on the ground. There's 2 of them. So that's your resin. That's what we use for the torch. You can actually hold T. You can see it in the tooltip. Hold T to pick up multiple. If you watch that one just to the upper left of my head, we hold T and it picks up both of them. Left-hand side of the screen, it tells you that you picked up 2 resin. We hit Z, you can see all the items laying on the ground here, and there's a bunch of sticks, so we can try and pick up all the sticks at once with T. Yeah, see, it didn't get the 2 outside ones, it only got the ones that were right next to us. There we go. And then we're left with some long sticks. Now, all of this stuff is going to be used for building. So we need to start establishing our base. I guess this is an okay spot. It's like everything is just all over. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is, because we're on this daggum hill. Now, these items here, I want to be able to use these, but I don't necessarily, I can't like carry them around. I can only carry one of these at a time. Matter of fact, let me show you. I'll pick it up. You can see you throw it over your shoulder. If I open inventory, it takes up the large item slot. So you can only hold one large item on you at a time. So then there's still this one left. Now, if you have an item that's on your shoulder or whatever, you can drop it with E. You just throw it back down on the ground. But if you want to mark a location real quick so you can find it again, you can left click on the map wherever you're wanting to mark, and it's going to be right at the tip of your cursor. So I'm going to put it right on me. And then there's this red beam that pops up. That way I can find this location again, and then I can go and look for a different location to start building on. No longer feel as strong. Now you can see our thirst is way down. So you have the little water pouch. If you hit the water pouch once, it'll fill you almost 3/4 full, I believe. Now, we've got the wisp down here again. Where is he at? He just went behind that rock. Now you can equip your weapon, and we can go up and we can actually go and punch him in the face. And then 2 hits and he's down. We can hold T and pick up everything. Or excuse me, everything of that item that is nearby. There's a stick and a stone. But the first couple of days, you're literally going to be just gathering and building your stuff. Now, that being said, we are kind of close to the woods. I want to be in the woods. No idea what's around. But we are going to start establishing, we're going to punch the ground. We're going to start establishing our Viking village. Now, we're going to hit B, and you can see simple fire is the only thing that we can build right now. We have to build a simple fire and then upgrade it to be able to build some of these other items. Matter of fact, you can see right here, the shelter, it requires us to build the campfire first. Well, the campfire is the second, or is the upgrade to the simple fire. It says here, we got to build the simple fire first. So we've got the items in our inventory to build the simple fire. You just pick a location that you want to build it and place. And then you look at the highlighted item. It's kind of an orange ghost. You hit R to put the items in that you have in your inventory. Then you see that T, open simple fuel fire menu. We're going to hit T, and it's going to allow us to do an upgrade. And we can build that upgrade. Now, if we look at the upgrade, we have items that we have to put in it, but we don't have enough items. So at the bottom there, right next to my health bar, it says required supplies. 1 of 6 stones and 3 of 4 sticks is what we have in there. We got to go find 5 more stone and 1 more stick. If you're hungry, you can also find these bird nests and gather an egg. You can see I got 1 egg. It's in my slot 7. I'm a little bit peckish, so I'm going to go ahead and eat it. And then I'm highlighting stuff because we need to go and find a bunch of more stone. I think it was 5 to be exact. We're going to grab some more sticks out of the dwarf spruce. And we got another little guy here. Let's make sure that we got our knife. And then we're going to pick up his remains. I'm going to scan. Yep, another bird nest. Get us an egg. Well, I've got mussels on me too. Let's go ahead and eat that egg. I got mussels in number 9. We're going to go ahead and eat that. Eat that. And there we go. We're full. Good. We like to be full. We're going to go ahead and grab some more mussels so at least we have some on us. Finish picking up the stone, and then we're going to head back to our campfire. Now, if you see at the compass at the top of the screen, we have a little fire icon, so it does show us where our fire is, so at least that way we can find our way back. And we're going to hit R to put the supplies in there. And then we can hit R again because we do have a firewood on us. We can put that inside. We're going to hit T again. Now that we've built the campfire, we can actually have add-ons to the campfire. So we can build a fire cover. So it'll cover it and protect it from the elements. So when it rains, your fire is going to go out unless you have a cover for it to protect it. And then you can add a barbecue so you can cook meat on it. So like fish meat, or if you go out hunting other animals, you can cook the meats from them as well. So we're going to build the cover. We're also going to continue looking at the campfire. We're going to hit T again, and we're going to build the barbecue. Just like that. And then we're going to go out and gather the materials for both of those. Put the items in that I have to put in. I don't have any items for that. All right. So we've got to go out and we've got to build, or excuse me, we've got to gather sticks and make rope. And then we have to collect bark. Now, we need bark, and there was bark at this marker over here where I fell that tree because I didn't pick up the bark yet. So let's head over to this marker. We're going to highlight, and you can see there is some bark right here. We're going to hold T. We're going to pick up all the bark, and we're actually going to bring over one of these long sticks because we will need it later. Now, when you're carrying an item, you can see I'm kind of jogging. If you just tap shift, it'll jog instead of walk. Tap shift, just like that. Now, I've got this little item, the log here. I'm going to hit E just to throw it on the ground. I don't need it right now. But I do need the bark. We're going to hit R. We need 2 more bark, which means I got to chop down another tree. I'm just going to chop down a tree right next to us here. Chop up the stump for the firewood. And then we're going to chop up the felled tree. Now we got the felled tree. You can see all the items laying on the ground there where I fell the tree. There's a bunch of sticks, logs, resin, and then bark. I'm going to pick up all the bark. I'm going to pick up all the resin. And then I'm going to pick up all the sticks as well. Oop, there's a stone. Alrighty. Now, put the stuff in the cover. So the cover is green. It is ready for us to build. And then I'm going to put extra supplies in the other. And can I make any rope? I can make some, but I don't think I can make enough. What do I need? 4? Well, maybe I can make 4. Go back into B. We'll make 4 individuals. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be enough. We put that in there, and then we need 4 sticks. Now, if you need more sticks, you can chop up some of these long sticks. But it only gives you like 1 stick. And then it gives you bark and firewood. So we are going to be better off actually finding these little guys, the dwarf spruce, because it gives us a guaranteed 2 sticks. There we go. We put all of our stuff in the barbecue now. So now all we got to do is hold E, and we're going to start building on this stuff. Okay, barbecue is done. Let's go around here. We're going to bang out the cover. Boom. There we go. And then if you need to ignite it, ignite the campfire, you hold E facing the campfire. And you can see the fuel level just below my feet. I got 116% of fuel in there right now. I can even add another piece of fuel and then just completely fill it up. Now, if you have stuff in your inventory that you don't want, right now we don't have a storage. So we can drop these items on the ground just by dragging them out into this black area here. I'm going to turn the thatch into fibers, and then we're just going to hold on to the sticks and everything. And there we go. We've got our first campfire. The very start of our first Viking village. Now, I think in the next episode, we're going to start covering fishing and start getting a structure built for us to sleep in. So the structures are going to be how you gain health back. From what I've found, there's no health potions or anything like that we can make. Health regeneration happens when you sleep. But I do know the better the building, the better the regeneration. However, the first building that we do build, which is a shelter, is not going to be that great. But we're going to go over those in the coming episodes. I appreciate everybody joining me today. Make sure that you like the video if you are liking these. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to go and check out my Discord. The link for that will be in the description. And please go check out some of my other videos on my channel. There'll be a few links in the description below for you to go and check out. And we will see you folks in the next one. You take care and happy hunting.